As we are nearing the end of football season, which means Super Bowl, i.e., the Kendrick concert, let's talk about my favorite football series. Okay, so Dandridge Monroe is one of my favorite people on this planet, and she just so happens to be one of my favorite authors. She wrote the Desperado series, and that is all of these lovely books that are about the Desperados football team, and we get a look at different aspects of a football team throughout this series. So she starts this book in her first series, which is the Orphan series. In book two, Asylum, is where we meet Jacoby, who is a player on the Desperados team. And once we meet him, then we go from there into the Desperado series, which the first book is The Catcher's Rye, which follows Antoine and Rye. Antoine is a known playboy. Like, he is just out there. He's always in the blogs. He wants Jacoby's wife, Billy, who is a talent manager agent for lots of different players, to be his manager. And him and Jacoby, of course, play on the same team. They're friends and all of that thing, all of that stuff. I absolutely love this book because we get to see a female main character who sis gonna do what she want. Ain't nobody gonna play her. So even when Antoine tries to talk to her, this man walks up to her with two girls beside him trying to holler at her, and she's like, "I'm good. You got it. Stay over there." And so we watch them like kind of figure out each other and themselves. We watch Rye get to pull back all of the layers that is Antoine and see why he acts the way he acts towards the media, but she gets to know the real him. It's so sweet. It's so precious. Loved this book thing. Next up, we have Defender's Destiny. Let me tell you something. I read all the way around this book in this series. I skipped it because they are interconnected standalones. So, like, you meet people, you don't have to read them in order. I say read them in order because they make a little bit more sense in order. But, like, I knew what was going to happen in this book because I read Asylum. I knew it was going to happen. And I was like, yeah, no, I cried so bad reading this book, like voice memo Dandridge, like crying. And she was like, "Are you crying?" I was like, "Yes, I told you I was going to." Like, I knew going into this book, it was going to make me sad because this book follows Billy and Jacoby. But in this book, some things have happened. Their marriage is rocky. They really have to fight to get back to a place of love and happiness. In that fight, baby, mm, mm, mm. This is probably my favorite book in this series. Love this book just because there's so much emotional depth to it. And like, not to say the other books don't have depth, but the emotional depth in this book just hit me a little different, and I loved it. Now, oddly enough, this next one has my favorite characters out of the series, and that is the Quarterback's Keeper. This is honestly the one I read first because somebody gifted me this one, and then I ended up getting the rest of the books. This one follows Grant, who everybody thinks is this quiet, good boy, good guy, but that man, A, he do his dirt on the low. And not really dirt, like he just be with women on the low. So it doesn't hit the blogs or nothing. And B, when it's time to step up for Lyric, that man steps up, okay? We see him fighting, we see him popping off everything he needs to do to support that lady. Because Lyric's man in the beginning was trash. Do you hear me? Trash. That man does not deserve any good things. And when she wrote that diss track and played it on baby, my good sis said, I'm not gonna take this line down. Like, you had me. I went in hiding. But nah, because now I got a man that's gonna love me for real out loud and make sure I'm protected and safe. Yeah, yeah. And as you can tell, he is the quarterback. But the thing about Grant is we meet him early on, but he's coming into a situation where his that lady that he was with before just had been on some complete utter bullshit. Like complete utter bullshit. And he's moving to a team where he's kind of the underdog. Like he not even really looked at as the main catch. So the first contract he gets is kind of like shitty, not gonna lie. But now he has to prove himself. And on top of finding and falling in love with Lyric, like so much. And one thing I will say about the men in these books, they gonna stand 10 toes down behind their ladies. Like, regardless, no matter what they got to lose, what they got at stake, they're standing 10 toes down behind them ladies. Now, what I will say is, I have not read this one yet because, first of all, I just got it in paperback, but I have to go back. But this one follows like everybody: Jacoby and Billy, Antoine Rye, Grant and Lyric, and they're all kind of moving through marriage, getting married, all the things. So I have to go back and read this one. Like I told y'all, you don't have to read them in order. I've read all the way around the series. What football series you know where we talk about the team doctor? Like my girl said she was covering every piece of this football organization. Okay. Okay. And also, you see the tabs? Do you see how tabbed up this one is? I loved this book. Okay. This one follows the team doctor, and that's Dr. Rich. That man told that girl, first of all, let me back up a little bit. So Corinne comes to the Desperado organization with a husband. Like that lady is very much married, but that man is very much trash. Like he moves his baby mama like a couple of houses down from them because he's still fucking on her while he's still married. He had already had a baby on this lady, and he's still married. Like, you know what? Whatever. A lot of these tabs are like the stupid shit he said and did. Because I was really upset that he got even got a chapter. Because what does he have a chapter for? I don't care nothing about what that man got to say. Like, let her leave him, and we're good. This lady messes around and falls in love with the team doctor. Your husband is overweight, underperforming, all the things wrong. So he has to go see Rich, and that's the man you fall in love with. And one thing I will say about this, like it's a little bit messy, but it's not like over the top mess, and the mess doesn't overshadow the love story that happens in this book. I love this book down. It's really good. And last but not least, the coach's challenge. This is a stepdaddy for your ass. And I have not read this one yet. I just know like what I know about the book, the conversations we've had about this book. This is about Coach Stu. Told y'all she covers everybody in the organization, okay? This is Coach Stu. He ends up having at the end of Sideline Love, he ends up having to get another procedure done on his leg because he messed up his leg, and that's why he doesn't play anymore. And the lady that he wants to be with, like, he been falling back, but he's still been chasing her across the books, like across the series. So we finally get their love story in this book. I'm so excited to read this one. I haven't yet, but I think this is probably gonna be what I read while everybody else is watching the Super Bowl until the Kendrick concert comes on. I think that's what I'm gonna do with this one. But yeah, if you are looking for a football series to get into that covers the whole team, that actually talks about football, talks about players, positions, the game happening, definitely check out the Desperado series. I love it. Let me know in the comments if you've read it already and what your thoughts about it.